Did she mention that we're live on YouTube, just streaming, and then it archives there if you want to visit our YouTube site ever. But thank you. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Thank you. Sure. I'm going to save it on my hard drive. If it's something I need to delete, just let me know. We can do it afterwards. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to your favorite Rotary Club meeting. Of course, you're all here because you joined. That's why it's your favorite, right? Let us all continue standing. And, Glenn, why don't you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And Nanette, how would you like to lead us in the four-way pact? I'll have the courage to tell the whole truth. I'll be kind in the way I tell it. I'll be fair and not seek selfish advantage. I'll have an open heart and an open mind. And if we could have Jack Lucas give us our invocation, and please bow your heads.
Dear God, we give thanks for this day and for the guests that are with us. We ask a blessing on the Rotarians here and around the world and the projects that they're involved with. Bless this food and this meeting to our needs. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. All right, take your seats.
That's a roast test for sure. Red string. Red string. So then the coffee cup, which is on your D side. We need to send one. Who wanted to watch? Guys, you're did you want me to pass this?
Okay, as per usual, it is Friday, which means we got a very busy schedule. I am going to get rolling here a little bit. We'll have plenty of time for eating and stuff in a little bit. We're going to introduce guests. We've got a special check presentation to probably one of my top 5 favorite high schools in the area. We've got our Rotary News of the Week. We got Happy Dollars. We got our club announcements, Queen of Diamonds, Fun and Frolic, as well as our guest speaker, and all that getting done before 1:30, so you guys can move about your day. So let's go table to table here with our guests. Maybe I'll start from my right and work my way to the left here. Let's start with Ted's got a guest here today. Well, there's not a sign. Somebody took it down and. All right, table 1. I thought you said you're number 1. You're number 1. Sorry, Ted. Sorry, go ahead.
It's way over there, but anybody that's there, a guest over there. Do you have a guest? All right.
We have a guest at our table, the distinguished principal of Schaumburg High School, Brian Harlan. Just so you guys know, he came from Hoffman, so he's okay with me. And he, him and his staff gave me a hat yesterday because I turned 60 with a big S on it. Because they know I would never wear a Schaumburg hat, so they gave me a hat like this. So I will wear this 60-year-old hat right here. I turned 60 this year.
Sounds great.
Thank you, man.
And last but not least, that table over there, that everybody took their numbers down just to mess with me today. Mary Jo, or anyone else? There we go. Anastasia, very nice. Thank you.
This young lady who is
Courtney Baker, thank you very much. All right, so it is our pleasure. We've got good news of Rotary in our Rotary this week. We do have, as Mr. Fabrini mentioned, a Blessings in a Backpack check presentation. So I'd like to invite newly elected or newly hired principal, right? This year, right? Last year, sorry. All right, I'm not keeping up on my Schaumburg as much as I normally do, but Brian, would you like to come up? We've got, yes, let's clap for Brian. On his, I just promoted you to principal up for this year. So congratulations, you can get started at any time.
All right, thank you.
Sorry about that. But Blessings in a Backpack, as I mentioned a couple weeks ago when we did this with Hoffman Estates, what they found was that kids were going home over the weekend still hungry because they had some of their meals provided for them during the week. So we bring some food into the schools so they can bring it home during the week. So with that, we present you a check.
Thank you very much.
Shield for you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Would you like to say a couple of words?
I want to thank all of you for this. This program means a lot to our families. And, I've ever since I started at Schaumburg last year, I've been saying that, the Schaumburg High School community extends well beyond the walls of our school, right? And I do feel like it's the central part of our community, the schools are. So I appreciate all the support from you. But one thing that we learned is that in order for our students to be successful academically, we really need to get their primary needs met. And we have students that are free and reduced lunch that get free lunch at school regularly, and these students are well fed during the week through our breakfast and lunch program, but we realized there was a need for our students that when they would go home over the weekend, they might have siblings, other members of the families that they were not so fortunate to have that availability. So kids that were potentially going home on Friday, not eating again until Monday morning. So this allows us to provide meals to those students and families as needed. So we're much appreciative and very grateful for your participation and support on this program. So thank you very much.
Very good.
I do have to leave too. Sorry.
Yes,
I do have another meeting, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to head out. But
So,
I wanna thank you all very much.
I believe it was Steve Miller that said, just go on and take the money and run.
Yeah. I will be back though for more meetings in the future. I look forward to being part of it.
Sounds great. You're welcome anytime. Thank you, sir. All right. We do have some good news. Rotary in the world, Anaheim Hills Rotary Club is doing a field of honor with flags that the community can sponsor. Kind of some fun things there in Anaheim Hills. Say that 3 times fast. Don't say that 3 times fast. And then this week in our area, Rotary invests in local clubs, projects ranging from food banks to STEM kits. This is down in central Illinois. So Rotary not only does things amazing here, but all around the world. Who's happy today? All right. Not happy. Well, I am going to start off on some happy dollars. I usually like to end with them, but happy, sad-ish, but happy. Yesterday, we got to take my youngest son to his apartment, 19 years old. He had to do his freshman year of college at home. I tried everything in my power to party with him like freshmen in colleges do, but it didn't work as well as him going away. So we brought him to DeKalb, and it was actually, not that you have favorites or anything like that, but this one was a little bit harder because we spent the last year home together in the same home all day long, talking and messing around with each other and goofing around. So this one hit me real hard. It might also be because he's the last one to go. So I got $5 happy for that. Mary Jo. Good. Not a lot to be happy about? Huh? He's got no money. I ain't got no money. All right, no problem. How about club business and announcements? Gail is going to come up here and try to pretend like she's Holly for a couple of minutes. And Bruce is going to play us some blues. Who's going to get there first? Bruce gets there first. Ladies first.
No, go ahead.
No, my mama taught me.
All right, fine.
All right, I am being Holly today. Holly's not here, but she did ask me just to remind everybody to please turn in their vacation drawing tickets. We don't have to remind you, but I am. I also am up here for another reason with the fellowship committee, because on your table is a flyer for the Platts concert. It's an annual event put on by the Village of Hoffman Estates. It's a German fest with German beer, Hofbrau beer, German food, and German music. It's a fun weekend. There's contests, a Stein hoisting contest, Stein carrying contest, all sorts of children activities in the Kinderplatz. But our Rotary Club is going to do a fellowship on Friday night. So we'll have an area roped off for our club. Bring your spouses. You can even bring your children if you want, because it is a family-friendly event. But this will be in the evening. On Friday, they're going to have Alpine Blast play. And then there's fireworks. For the first time, the Platts concert is having fireworks because 4th of July didn't happen this year for the village. And they were gracious and said, can the Platts concert use them? And we went, absolutely. So we're going to be shooting fireworks off on Friday night. And then after fireworks is a DJ. On your table, like I said, there's a flyer. And also we have a lot of club support for this event. We've got sponsors like Redmond Towing, Ellen Gabe, Steve Lamp, Chris, and Kelly. They are all sponsors for this event. If anyone else would like to sponsor it, we will gladly include your name in our sponsorship flyers, website listing, and all the other promotional materials that we put out. So we hope to see you watch on Club Runner for a sign up, accept or decline for this event. Thank you.
Just a footnote to Gail's announcement. Actually, Lieber, a beer fest in Hoffman Estates, fireworks. What's not to like? We should all go to that. Also, one of our sister clubs in McHenry, Illinois, is doing their annual festival, Blues and Barbecue. Most of you know about this, but my wife likes me to is into the blues, and she knows the Rotarians up there in McHenry that are putting this on. And so I promised that I would promote this event. I really enjoy it. I've been up there maybe 4 or 5 years, and we're going Sunday. So it's not quite as long on Sunday. You don't have to stay there all night. And that's a plus. And also the bands that are going to be there on Sunday are superb. They're A-list, Chicago, if you want to hire blues bands. So if you can go, it's $12 to get in, $12 per ticket, and wear your Rotary attire, and let our sister club know that we support them as they have supported us. Have a great day.
Gail is being Gail now, not Holly.
No, I'm being Holly,
Oh,
actually.
Holly. Oh, sorry. All right.
I forgot to mention about the Platts concert and vacation raffle tickets said on Saturday and Sunday, I think, but I think last year we only did it on Saturday. Our Rotary Club has a table and we sell vacation drawing tickets at that event. And so we will be looking for people to help circulate the crowd. Last year we had 5,000 people come to the event. We're anticipating more this year because everybody's ready to get out of the box and participate in some outdoor activities. So we're looking for people to kind of circulate the crowd, sell some tickets. It usually is a very, very easy sell. Mike can attest to that. Mike's been heading this up a little bit. But we will have a table. I know Chris, where did Chris go? Oh, he's back there. And Steve Lamp, you've been able to be at our table. Glenn, you were there one time. And yeah, Vince was there one time. It's kind of a fun event just to stand by that big blow up wheel. We promote our club with our booth, and a sign up sheet will be coming around for that as well. Thanks.
While Sarah is walking up here, this is just, if you're interested, Hoffman Estates High School, the band program is in need of a drum major platform for their marching band. It's between $1,000 and $1,500. What it says here on the screen is that they don't charge the kids to be in band. They've tried to have some fundraisers, but obviously they haven't been in school. So if any individual or business wants to sponsor that, I can get you some information on that.
Good afternoon, everyone. Community service update. So CAC Party in the Park unfortunately was canceled for tomorrow due to COVID rising cases. So thank you everyone who volunteered to help at our table, and hopefully they'll reschedule at some point. I also wanted to say thank you very much to everyone who has volunteered to be a liaison for our community partners. We had 2 left open spots this morning. Now I only have 1. So if anyone is interested in being a liaison to Journeys, that would be fabulous. Just let me know. And then we'll also include you in our community service committee meetings. Do not feel obligated to attend, but I will definitely send out the meeting invites. That's it.
All right, we're almost done with the business now. Don't forget, keep eating if you're working on it, because here's what we got. It's the Queen of Diamonds, baby. Come on, here we go. Woo! I know what's going to happen here. We got the picker wheel going. I believe we actually have some audio, but here we go. Oh, and it's loud too. Woo! Feel it. Feel it. You can just feel it in your bones. Terry Park. No, it's not how we do it. What is how we do it? If you're not here, it's the lowest available number on the board, which is number 7. So we're gonna take a hammer and a chisel to this thing. Now, keep in mind, it's all Terry's fault that it's the Queen of Diamonds and not the Queen of Hearts, because he chose the exact number of Queen of Hearts on the first try. So then we changed it to the Queen of Diamonds. Let's see if he's got the luck twice here in a row. I got to learn to talk slower. Oh, it's going. It's going. Oh, it's a 2 of diamonds. Not even near. Well, it's similar, but not quite. All right. Well, now you can enjoy your meal, and we'll come back with a fun and frolic Find Master in just a little while.
Assignments. One of the vacuum. Go to the store. Shut your mouth. Does anybody got a really sports skill? Yeah.
Now they put value on every game. Even the game, Green Bay is where I said it's almost $160. Ravens are 145. San Francisco is about
You get paid.
they're at about 105.
You know, we're going through stuff with our house, and so we got things.
So we should have another.
Yeah, we paid off. But the face value on the things.
Well, you know, so it's a lot of. Back alone, we got 3 times. Each team gets 85, 06, and then there was one time where they were, you know, in the division playoffs. Each team they do it full. Our team did 5. Oh, yeah. It's 3 times out of, you know, Super Bowl. They only get half of them. Maybe not even this one. Yeah, they don't play, but they need to
Each team gets like 500. When you want to, and they scout them all. They won't. The Bears got 5
Well, if you go.
So what do you guys do with the cup there? It's better than any of their top players that they got. He's just coming.
That's the other thing. That all these kids, but he enjoyed it. Guys just play cool or what?
Very situation.
We're talking about baseball.
They should have made some changes to their and they drafted for it. Well, you can't, no person, you don't get a church.
They get good marketing. Oh, my.
Oh, my. Bug disease, right?
Hey, wait, like, a new form of energy that you think about, yeah, I know we need alternate sources of coal.
You're gonna swing a bat with, generate some energy.
Okay, everybody, is this thing still on? Yeah. I hate to interrupt our conversations. We had some Blazing Saddles talk over here. We had diet talk over there. They were talking about my 9,000 calorie diet. Oh wait, no, that was that swimmer guy. Sorry. 10. Oh, it ended up being 10,000 calories for what's his name? Michael Phelps does 10,000 calories a day, in case you weren't, in case it comes up during Fun and Frolic, which is why we interrupt this amazing meeting so that we can bring up the man, the myth, the legend. Oh, wait, it's just Alan Gabe.
Hello, everybody. For our guests here today, this is how we raise some of the money that we give away. So George, would you please be a collector? And Mike Erickson, would you be a collector? And someone near Jim Fabrini be a collector? One thing I have to say about Jim is that he's very humble, Jim Fabrini, because Jim is going to participate in the triathlon next week, and he didn't mention it today, didn't express happy dollars. So anybody in here who thinks that they can do a triathlon, raise your hand. Okay, everybody else pay $2. If you're not wearing your pin, it's $2. If you're not wearing your badge, it's $2. If you do not reach out to a fellow Rotarian about something that's not Rotary connected, that'll be $2. If you did not turn in your tickets for the vacation drawing, that'll be $2. Gail, I didn't know who I was going to find today, but you filled up half a page. First of all, you promoted an event that's not a Rotary event. That Plotzinate or whatever it is. Yeah, that's $2. Secondly, you use that forbidden word RAFFLE. Yes, you did. That'll be $2. And then Tom said we had a lot of things going and we had a lot of things to get through and you were longer than the program, so that'll be $2. Okay, so that's all I have for you right now. I said, oh, I take it wrong. And then you said that Mike goes and sells tickets, but we have a plethora of Mikes in this club and no one knew who you meant by Mike. So I was going to fine you $2 per Mike, but I thought that was excessive. So just pay another $2. Okay, thanks. If you're a Cub fan, I feel for you, but you're going to pay $2 putting up with that horrible team. I thought it was ironic that Jake Arrieta went to the Los Angeles Padres to replace Yu Darvish, who's on the IR. Now, Arrieta pitched, gave up 5 earned runs, and now is on IR himself. So if you're a Cub fan, that's $2. It's such a beautiful day today outside. If you're wearing long pants today, you should be ashamed of yourself. That'll be $2. If you're wearing a sport jacket today, it's 122 degrees outside, so pay $2. If you do not have a guest at your table, shame on you. We're the friendly club. So pay $2. And Glenn is not considered a guest. I'm sorry. Will all the Hoffman Estates High School alums please stand up? Just the two of you? Well, okay. I thought there were more, but you should be ashamed of yourself. Neither of you stepped up to help with the band
I just said that our foundation should write the check.
Well, I agree with you, but you didn't bring it up, so $2 each. I try not to find you today, Jim, because Jim fetches all the time that I find him too much, so.
You've already fined me $10.
I didn't find you anything. How did I find you?
Well, you got me for the Hoffman thing, and you got me for no pin today. You got me for.
Well, wait. You find yourself for no pin because is there anybody in here that thinks they're not going to get fined by not wearing a pin? Come on, Jim, that's a fine every week. So, okay, what other fine did I give you? Also, if you have a license plate holder on your car and it's not a Rotary license plate holder, you should be ashamed of yourself, pay $2. And if you're not going to the Boomers baseball game, camaraderie, fellowship. That'll be $2. And Mary Jo, I'm sorry, but your phone went off during the meeting. That's an automatic $5 fine. It's not my rule. Yeah, it is my rule. So it's $5. And if you did not pay a fine today, please contribute $2 because Tom's spending us a lot of our money, so we're going to need it. Everybody have a great weekend and stay safe.
All right. And don't forget, everybody, you can still pay your fines online. We are getting a lot of people that know that they're going to be naughty, so they do it right before the meeting. I happen to see that a lot. That's really cool. So see where we're at here. So now I'd like to have Mary Jo come up and introduce today's speaker.
This incredible young lady I met, I want to say she was in high school. My youngest daughter was in 3rd grade and she was her assistant for religion class. And I've continued to see her grow and flourish as she graduated high school and went to college. But I was fortunate that her dad was on the board at Gigi, so I got to keep an update on how she was doing and what she was doing. And I don't want to spoil it, but she's done some incredible work for, I'd say, the world and educating people on mental health concerns. Being a licensed social worker, working at a behavioral health hospital, I find this invaluable. So I'm going to introduce Miss Courtney Baker.
Right. So thank you for inviting me, first of all, to speak today. I haven't heard from Mary Jo in a while, and she reached out, and I was very pleased to hear and know that she was hearing some of the things that I was involved in. So that was pretty special. I guess so. So at the center of your tables, there are some index cards and some pens. I'm going to make you work a little bit first. So we're going to go through something that I like to do with a lot of the groups that I talk to. It's just a little thought exercise, but the cards are there and the pens are there for you to write down your thoughts during it if you want to keep track. Running through a few different scenarios. So if you want to jot down any thoughts, or feelings. I'm going to ask you some questions. You don't have to write anything down. It's only for you. I'm not collecting or grading anything. So just for you. All right. So to start off, I want you to picture what a healthy individual looks like. Doesn't have to be anybody in this room. Doesn't have to be someone you know. Just a human that you think is healthy, whatever that means to you. And now with each new description that I go through, and it's going to be posted up on the screen as well for you to read, I want you to just kind of take note and acknowledge any changes in feelings or perceptions or anything that you note that might change about this person. All right, we're going to get started. So scenario 1, I want you to now imagine that this individual never stops thinking. Their mind never stops, never takes a rest. Every second there's a new thought, A new list being made, a constant unsettled jittery feeling you can't just shake, that penetrates every situation. How does that change how this person looks on the outside? How does it change your perception of this individual? And do you think you would even notice that somebody might be struggling with these kinds of thoughts or feelings? You can write down any of your thoughts that you want. We're going to move on to the next one and revisit. All right, so now we're going to move on and kind of add some different layers. The next one is you notice that somebody's kind of letting their appearance slip. Maybe they've stopped brushing their hair, wearing makeup if there's someone who always wears makeup. Maybe they don't dress as nice as they used to for no apparent reason. They're appearing sluggish or disinterested in some of their work. Maybe their quality of work has decreased. Their ability to finish work has decreased. How might you describe this individual to a coworker or a friend? What are some of the words that you might use to describe this individual? Do any of these acts or things that you notice change your perception of this individual? And what might you say to them? Okay, moving on to the next one. So this is the last one. And I want you to imagine that this individual is very fearful of others and they're very suspicious of anybody trying to do something for them or what your intentions might be. You've also starting to notice that they kind of are letting people out of their lives. They don't really have a reason for why they stopped talking to you, but they just do. They also mentioned at one point that they have a feeling of being watched. You just kind of let it go, but what might you say to this person? Or how would you react when they said that? Does it change your perception of this individual? All right. I want you to take a minute to reflect on how each individual might look, feel, or act, or if maybe you've even encountered somebody who might be presenting with these kinds of signs. And maybe what you did in that situation, how you reacted, or what you thought of that person. Now, the next part is kind of where your ideas that you've just written down or were thinking about come into play. So what if I told you that each one of those descriptions that we just ran through is a description of a mental health disorder? That first description is anxiety. Anxiety is not just excessive worry, somebody who just may be a worrywart. It is the struggle to regulate your fight, flight, or freeze response, which leaves your body constantly in struggle, meaning that your body never rests. You can't just lay down and relax because your body is on that adrenaline. It always senses that there's a danger, even when there might not be. The second scenario is depression. No, it's not just a sadness that you can't get rid of. It's a completely empty feeling where everything you do seems like it's in slow motion or underwater. You don't have interest in any of your activities, maybe your passions. It just isn't the same anymore. That third scenario, that's paranoia or other symptoms of mental health, such as psychosis. And that is suspicion and mistrust of people or their actions without evidence or justification. So there's a lot of things that you might see in an individual, but not connect with someone actually struggling. That's kind of what I wanted to bring to your attention to start this off with. And I wanted to ask, what does knowing each of these individuals' struggles with change how you might interact, treat, or perceive them if you knew they had a mental illness or if you didn't know they had a mental illness? Would you treat them any differently? All right, so I like to open up with an activity like that because it shows what like living with a mental illness is like for many individuals who might not be aware of it. It might also not be blatantly obvious if somebody is struggling with some of these other symptoms that we might just brush off as just being worrisome. And what we can do is continue to work to make this more of common knowledge so that we can help others go through some of these struggles. So I'm going to back up a little bit and I'm going to revisit who I am and why I'm here. I did leave that part out of the beginning. I will introduce myself now though. As Mary Jo mentioned, I'm Courtney Baker. I am currently a second year audiology doctoral student at Northwestern University. And before that, I was a graduate of Augustana College. I graduated with 2 majors and a minor in 2020. I was the commencement speaker on behalf of the class of 2020 and shared a message similar to what I'm going to be sharing today. Before I even attended Augustana, I graduated with top academic honors from Fremd, William Fremd High School in Palatine. I was also a highly decorated varsity soccer player and a nationally recognized Girl Scout Gold Award recipient. So just hearing that list of accomplishments right there, you might say I've been pretty successful in my life, but none of those honors I just listed alludes to why I'm qualified to stand in front of you today. So why am I here? Well, Mary Jo, one of your members who maybe knows just a fraction of my story, asked me here because there's something that you can't see today that is extremely valuable and important to educate others on, and that is mental health and wellness. As what qualifies for me to stand in front of you right now is that I was the creator of the Augustana College on-campus chapter of the National Alliance on Mental Illness, or AUGI-NAMI for short. I'm also an advocate and mentor for other individuals with mental health disorders. And the thing that qualifies me the most to stand and talk to you today is my personal journey with mental health. So what if I were to tell you those scenarios that I read to you at the beginning, that was me. Every single one of them. A successful doctoral student at Northwestern. Would that change how you perceive me, knowing that about me? What if all you saw was the girl who didn't leave her room for days on end? Or what if it was the one whose mind never slept, so that meant she never slept? Or someone who let her appearance slip to the point where she couldn't remember the last time she showered? So I have been told that the fact that I made it to my freshman year of college without needing severe mental health treatment, or pretty intensive mental health treatment, was pretty incredible. The secret is I had never known that my life without disordered thinking. So I never knew it wasn't normal for a 4-year-old's favorite activity to be cleaning, especially cleaning the bathrooms. Favorite thing, still is. I know that's odd, but it is. And that most kids don't care if one piece of food touches another type of food on their plates. If it does, it's a complete disaster. In all reality, I thought it was normal to be scared that something was contaminated by germs or food. I never knew it was not normal for a high schooler to only be able to sleep 4 to 5 hours a night, and that's waking up every hour to write something down on a to-do list, because constantly there's things going through my mind that has not been done. I also didn't know that it wasn't normal for a high schooler to cry uncontrollably about English assignments because they were just so overwhelming. I thought everybody did that. So it wasn't until college, when I suddenly was responsible for my own life and I had some newfound independence, that everything kind of spiraled. So within 1 month of beginning my courses at Augustana, I was struggling to convince myself to eat dining hall food. I rarely slept because there was just so much to do, so much to experience. Within 2 months, I had began missing classes because I couldn't leave my room. And the classes I did make it to, I ended up crying in for no apparent reason. By 3 months, I could barely function. My friends tried to tell everyone who was supposed to help me, my counselors, trainers, professors, but no one was able to do anything. By 4 months, I was in a hospital bed, deemed unstable enough to make my own decisions, flitting between consciousness and unresponsiveness on oxygen, IVs, heart monitors, and everything in between. So 4 months, that's how long it took for someone highly successful coming out of high school to completely crumble due to mental illness. So luckily, in my journey and my story, my friends did not listen to me and called my parents on the way to the ER. I had parents who thankfully drove across the state that night to pick me up. Luckily, I came back to the Chicagoland area where ER doctors knew how to stabilize me. And I was in a hospital actually just down the road that was known for their behavioral health treatment. It took me 9 months. It took me 9 months to relearn how to exist in a non-disordered way. Over those 9 months, I went through a lengthy hospitalization, months of day treatment at the hospital, in addition to intensive outpatient therapy. The result, I was able to prove to myself, and most importantly to my team of doctors, that I had built up enough skills to maintain my mental wellness to return to school. But when I returned, I noticed something. Nobody wanted to talk about mental health. Nothing had changed. So I decided that I needed to make a change. I never want to see someone else go through what I had to endure. No one should feel like they're screaming out for help, and no one is there to answer their call. So for that reason, I created Augie NAMI, which is a peer-led group on Augustana campus. And I was able to use my story to change the lives and the outcomes of many other students. Simply by creating a space where mental health could be talked about, students can now feel like they have someone to call when they're starting to struggle, or just need somebody to listen to them or help them get services. So since creating this group, I have been a part of so many journeys that could have ended way worse than mine did. And NAMI had the opportunity to intervene, and now those students are just as successful as they could have ever been. So NAMI also helped show the school some of the administrative and structural changes that needed to be made so that our students could actually have better mental health and mental wellness. I've since graduated Augustana and left Augie NAMI to some of the best hands I could, but I haven't stopped caring about mental health. So every chance I get, I talk about it, such as coming to this meeting, but also everybody in my life knows that a conversation with me probably will always include something about mental health or wellness. Maybe one little part of my story reminds them about themselves or someone else that they are close with, or a struggle that they might be going through. Maybe hearing me openly talk about my journey helps them realize that they need to seek help, or simply me normalizing it. Mental health and wellness makes others feel more comfortable to reach out to me when something does go wrong or they realize that somebody else needs help. So I do this all because mental health is normal. Everybody has a mental health. Unfortunately, many people struggle with their mental health, and that is when it becomes mental illness. I wanted to share a few facts with you, taken straight from the National Alliance on Mental Illness website. And these are just some of the facts about what mental illness, the impact of mental illness is. 1 in 5 US adults experience mental illness that can be in any range of severity. 1 in 20 are hospitalized for serious mental health concerns each year. Youth are also affected. 1 in 6 youth between 6 and 17 experience a mental health disorder every year. And 50% of all lifetime mental illness begins by age 14 and 75% by age 24. Just in that time span when you're being taught to be independent and to take care of yourself. But if we don't talk about mental health and wellness, when these things start to come up in that age range, nobody knows how to deal with it, and it spirals quickly. So that's the reason why I'm here today. I'd really like to talk to you guys about mental health and wellness. So somebody might be really good at maintaining their mental wellness, and that's great, and that's awesome. If you don't have experience with mental illness, that is amazing, and I'm so happy for you. But sometimes someone hits a rough patch and needs a little bit of extra support, and that's okay too. So your mental health and wellness is just like your physical health. If someone's health starts declining, people don't normally turn the other way and just say, deal with it yourself. They normally step in and help them, get them to the doctors, help them adjust to their new, maybe physical limitations in life. So why is it not like that for mental health? Is it because we can't see it? Well, that can't be true because there's so many visible signs of mental health illness. And it just takes a caring and motivated individual to understand what those signs are and to do something with their knowledge. So I wanted to show you how simple a conversation about mental health and wellness is, and how easy it is to start making a change to promote better mental health and wellness for others around you. So a lot of times I get the question of, well, I don't know how to start the conversation about mental health or wellness. How do you even start talking about it? So there are a lot of resources to help guide you in what you can do to kind of start a conversation, but I've kind of just put together my own few thoughts about it. First thing is normalize it. Don't wait until someone's in a crisis to start talking about mental health. That is how we get the stigma that it has right now. If you wait till somebody's in crisis, they're not going to understand what you're talking about of maintaining a better mental wellness. If you talk to them early when they are stable, they're going to feel more comfortable to getting help earlier, kind of avoiding those crises. So make it a casual, private conversation. You can make it public as well. If you want to start mental health advocacy, I am all for it. But if you're trying to target one individual specifically, make it a private conversation. Nobody wants to share all of their issues with everyone else in the room if they don't have to. Make it routine. Check in daily with those around you. It's easy enough to just say, like, how are you today? And actually listen, or actually dig a little bit deeper. Kind of don't just brush off, oh, I'm fine. Like, okay, well, how did this go? How are your emotions today? You might get a better response, and it will let that person know that you are there to actually support them, not just throw a little personal greeting to them. Become partners. And what I mean by this is be a partner in their kind of journey. So don't just talk to them once and then walk away. Be supportive and offer to work through things together. A lot of times what stops us from getting help is just the overwhelming kind of feeling that we don't know where to start. If you have somebody walking next to you, it's a lot easier. Also, educate yourself. So be proactive in learning about how to help someone specifically. Maybe you're just interested in mental health in general. There are some great websites out there to read about every mental health condition in the world. But a lot of us don't necessarily have the time to do that. But if there's somebody who you know maybe struggles with more anxious thoughts, you can go read about anxiety and how to interact, how to talk about anxiety, and how to best support someone. But the best thing is always to take that knowledge and go to that individual and ask them, how can I support you better? I also compiled some local resources for you. There are things in our area, such as the Schaumburg chapter of National Alliance on Mental Illness. This is their website. They have courses and support groups and a lot of information on mental health. They serve the Hoffman Estates area, Schaumburg, and a few other towns because there are not enough NAMIs created to have one in every single town, unfortunately. Also, there's some mental health first aid classes. If you don't know where to start, but you know that you want to learn more, these are great resources. They'll walk you through all of the major mental health disorders, how to deal with a crisis, how to talk to someone, how to bring it up, and how to start talking about mental health in a less stigmatized way. I also wanted to bring up what I mentioned about what are those physical signs of mental illness that you can learn to start identifying. And these are just a few of them. These are just general ones, not even specific to a specific disorder. And they're the excessive worrying or fear that I mentioned before, feeling sad or low, but also this other part that's confused thinking or concentrating and learning. When you're having struggles with mental health, a lot of times your other thought processes are affected as well. You can have mood changes, including kind of isolating yourself more. When you feel like something's wrong with you, you don't really want to be around other people. You kind of just start drawing into yourself, kind of closing yourself in your room. That's a really obvious sign when somebody starts doing that, that something's wrong. Changing in sleeping and eating habits, or some of these other ones, such as starting to use substances more, thinking or talking about suicide or death. and the overall inability to carry out daily activities. At that point, you know that it's gotten pretty severe and you're going to be needing some extra help. When you do get to that point, there's a numerous amount of crisis lines, resources to reach out to that I encourage you to kind of keep in your knowledge just so that you have them. And to kind of wrap it up, I have a little bit more of additional resources, and we can share this PowerPoint with whoever you want so that you have all of these links. The general warning signs are some of the ones I listed on that last slide there. The specific disorders I just listed, anxiety, depression, psychosis, and OCD, because those are some of the more common ones. And then some of these other parts are starting the conversation. So kind of guides on how to help you talk to someone or just talk in general about mental health. There's the general ones. And then I know that some of you guys are still in the workforce. So I included some of how to talk about mental health in the workplace, because that is also another challenge we're having in the mental health world is people might start recognizing it in their personal lives, but right now, the workplace still isn't very accommodating of it. I just wanted to kind of close up with kind of something that I used to say, and that is, if I can save one person's life from sharing my story, and that would mean that the work I'm doing is worth it. And it is worth it. I have 4 beautiful examples of why what I am doing is worth it, but I'm only one person. If more people realize the importance of simply talking about mental health and wellness, then the world might be in a better place to actually serve those with mental illness, or even just support overall well-being in the community, which I think is so important. And that is all I have, but thank you. And you can always reach out to me. My email is listed right there. But if you have any questions or comments, I will be around, and I always encourage discussion and conversation. Thank you.
Are there questions? We've got a few minutes. We do have one.
Yeah, go for it.
Mine is not a question.
Okay.
Say thank you. I have a son who suffers from all of those, and I just wish he would be brave enough to test it.
Yep.
I have a daughter that suffered, and the thing is, you go through all these things like bipolar, so you have depression, mania, and then you go into schizophrenia, then you go into anxiety, paranoia, so you got all those. So any one time, it may be a lot of different things. So you got a lot of different things. Who are you talking to at one time?
Exactly. Yeah, that's one of the harder things. I
And
mean,
the other thing I wanted to say though is that, yeah, you're good, but I found many people that had suffered major mental illness still went on to lead very productive lives. So it kept me out. In our case, our daughter never was able to do that. So you never know how that's going to turn out.
Yeah, look at a natural student Northwestern is committed to continue living a productive life.
yeah. Just because you have one crisis doesn't mean you have to kind of continue living like that the rest of your life. Doesn't define it.
You said you had these problems since you were very young. How do you think you got through high school all the way to college without some intervention by your parents or something?
I had it well. Oh yeah. Nobody knew how much I was actually struggling in my own head. Like I said, there are some physical signs to it, but when my personality from a young age was very much oriented towards being a perfectionist and liking things clean and orderly, and I had an incredible work ethic, it didn't seem like it was something that was an issue as long as I continued to perform, which I did, because I had those supports at home where I wasn't required to provide for myself. I had everything provided by my parents, which was amazing. But when I all of a sudden had another stressor on my life, things started to crumble, which is actually very common. We actually see the most mental health disorders will develop in that first year of college and college age students, because mental illness onset can be triggered by life stresses. and transitions. I knew her back in high school, and I'm a social worker, and I didn't pick up the thing. Yeah, so there are times where it is a little less common to kind of pick up on those things. My parents did see it. My mom would sit at the table with me as I'm crying about English, but she just thought that I really hated the subject, which wasn't true. There were some things where she did battle a lot of my things with OCD. You can have something called disordered eating. So kind of where it's not an eating disorder, but I have so many rules in my own head that when I sit down to eat, it's a lot harder and I don't eat because things are wrong with the food. So she saw a lot of that, but she just thought I was a picky eater. And she did know that something was wrong there, but I was still healthy enough that it didn't become something she needed to pursue. But if you do have, like, if my parents would have been more educated about mental health, they might have associated it with mental illness. But like I said, people just aren't aware of it. So it's not the first thing that comes to mind. Yeah.
It's our mug, and we've got Gigi's mugs on order. So if you don't want the boring mug, I can make sure that Mary Jo gets you one of the cool ones. All right, good. Who is doing the buzz today? You are? I will send you all these links before. Okay. I will do all that stuff. Very cool. Well, let's see where we're at here. We gotta get back on track. You know. Oh, would you look at that? We have got our next week's speaker is Lisa Small, our District 211 superintendent. So that should be interesting. We've done a major push to invite a bunch of the teachers that we know from District 211 to come and watch and cheer her on or boo her on. I'm not sure what's going to happen there, but it'll be kind of interesting. So if everybody can please rise, we will we'll ask the very dapper and nice-legged George to lead us in the four-way test.
Four-way test first.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will goodwill and better friendships will be beneficial to all concerned? All right, and we've got our quote this week. And if somebody can pronounce this last name, that's the best we can do. What is it? Snedeker. Estes Snedeker. Rotary strength lies in the sincerity of its purpose of its members. Go have a wonderful service week. We'll see you next week. What? I think I have a feeling Mr. Erickson was as mesmerized by George's knees as the rest of us and missed the whole thing there. So with that, I will close.